In this video, I'm going to give you my full unbiased review of the Google Pixel 4a. I've been using the Google Pixel 4a for about a month now, and I'm finally ready to share my thoughts and opinions on things that I liked and things that I didn't like about the Google Pixel 4a. Also, I'm going to share my recommendation on who I think this phone is for. With all that said, let's dive into the review. What's up YouTube? This is Jason from RedBeeLabs and welcome to another video. If you're new to the channel and enjoyed unboxings and in-depth tech reviews and everything in between, do me a favor and drop a like on this video, click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any new content I release. Okay, also, before I get started, I just wanted to show some appreciation to these companies out here who are making inexpensive phones with modern day features. This is a shout out to the OnePlus Nord, the iPhone SE, and of course, the Google Pixel 4a. Now, here comes the unboxing. The Google Pixel 4a comes in one color, which is just black. It is equipped with a Qualcomm Snapdragon 730 G4 chip. It's got 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. The display is a 5-inch full-screen OLED, which is FHD+, which is 1080 by 2340, with a PPI of 443. You get a 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio, an always-on display, Corning Gorilla Glass 3, a battery that's 3,140 milliamps. You get an 18-watt fast charging. You also get an adapter which is in the box. You have the USB-C port for charging and data transfer. You have a fingerprint scanner, that mysterious 3.5mm audio jack, which many people like. Of course, the power button, volume controls. You've got stereo speakers on this thing. Stereo speakers. 2 microphones, you have noise suppression, of course you have Wi-Fi 2.4 and 5, Bluetooth 5.0, NFC. You're also going to get the latest stock Android, which was 10 when I got it originally, but then I could upgrade to 11. And this is the way Google envisioned Android, the stock experience. You get the new onboard Google Assistant, which is awesome. Just wait for it for the review. And you also get a minimum of 3 years for OS and security updates, which has been really big for Android this past year. All this wrapped in a polycarbonate unibody, which provides a slim profile design and feels so good in the hand. The Pixel 4a weighs a light 143 grams and starts at just $349. You heard me, $349. And now for my favorite feature, that camera. I'm going to start off with the rear camera. You get a 12.2 megapixel dual pixel lens, autofocus with dual pixel phase detection, optical and electronic image stabilization, an aperture of f1.7, and a 77-degree field of view. Now, you can record in 1080p, and that's at 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second, and 100 frames per second. You can record at 720p, which is 30 frames per second, 60 frames per second, and 240 frames per second. You can also record in 4K at 30 frames per second. Now the front cameras. You get an 8 megapixel lens, an aperture of f2.0, you get a fixed focus, an 84-degree field of view, and the front records at 1080p, which is 30 frames per second, 720p, which is 30 frames per second, and 480p, which is 30 frames per second. Now Google might not get everything right, but they definitely got these cameras right and the software behind it. I took a bunch of pictures, and let me just tell you, I couldn't really distinguish them between the iPhone XR and the iPhone 11 Pro Max. The Google Pixel 4a, it does extremely well in low light and is able to be shot in RAW. So you can go back and update and do all those wonderful magical tricks to your photos later. The camera interface is streamlined and very user-friendly. The video recording is okay, but the stabilization is kind of off for me, but you know, this phone is really built for the camera. Let's just be honest. Another one of my favorite features of the Google Pixel 4a is the Google Assistant. Now it's on board. You don't need to have internet access anymore, and it's just a joy to use. In my opinion, the Google Assistant is just flat out, hands down, the best assistant out there. I mean, now it's faster, it's more intuitive, it is less invasive, and requires no internet, I mean, come on, that's pretty damn impressive. Real quick, if you're finding value in this video, if you could smash the like button, it really helps me and the channel out. Now, as I always say on the channel, I am not a gamer, but I dabble. I definitely do dabble. I played a few games on Google Play, and I mean, the gameplay was smooth and enjoyable. And then came the real test. This is the test I give all my devices. I started using Xbox Game Pass and played some of their cloud games. As you can see here, I was playing my go-to game, Forza Horizon 4, pretty badly, but please don't judge, please don't judge. When I tell you that this Pixel 4 handled everything I feel at it, I'm like, everything. Now for the battery. In my experience, I was getting around 6 to 7 hours of battery with this on-screen time, and I was watching YouTube videos, streaming movies, using the Google Assistant, listening to music, everything. And the battery didn't die on me, So I was very impressed. I mean, if I needed to go somewhere and I felt like, just in case, let me go ahead and top it up, it comes with an 18-watt charger in the box, and I would just plug it in, and I think about like 20 minutes, it got me to about maybe, I don't know, a third of it charged up. But either way, it wasn't running low in the first place, so I just wanted to top up before I went out. But all in all, I think the battery life on the Google Pixel 4a is pretty good. I mean, especially for the price. Okay, so now is the time when I tell you the things that I loved about the Google Pixel 4a. The camera. Now, that camera is pretty amazing. I mean, for just having one lens and being on a budget phone, I mean, the camera is just pretty awesome. Now, can you imagine if Google actually built a camera system for a flagship phone and used their software? I mean, that it would just knock all the competition out. The Pixel 4a was very snappy. I had no issues with it, no lag. The performance was on point. I just tell everybody, you have got to feel this thing. It is so lightweight and so thin, and it just feels good in the hand. It's built well. It's not like you're gonna drop it and break it. It just feels really good. So I mean, I don't know how they got it so light and so thin. One of my favorite things about Android, and not to knock to all the other manufacturers out there, is I just like the pure stock Android. Now, yeah, I like the bells and the whistles from Samsung and LG and other companies, you know, Huawei and all them, but I just really like sometimes just want a clean stock, easy experience. And with the Google Pixel 4a, you get the stock experience. You get the newest operating system right away. You don't have to wait. And I mean, to me, that's just a really big plus. As I said before, the Google Assistant, it's so awesome. I mean, she's hands down better than every other assistant out there. And if I could just touch again how fast she is, how you don't even need internet. It's on device. It is just ridiculous. You know, I'll do a test and I'll ask Siri something, and then she'll flake out on me as usual. And then I'll ask the Google Assistant, and she is on point with everything I asked her, detailed, good to go. Then she'll send the results to my phone. I mean, what more could you ask for? The fingerprint scanner is, I mean, it's a fingerprint scanner, but I really like it. I just like one on the back. The in-display is good too, but you know, I'm not really picky. You put it on the back, as long as it's fast, logs me in, I'm good to go. The 18-watt charger in the box. I love that they provide fast charging, and I love that they provide the tools to do it. You know, I don't know how many times I can say that. I'm looking at you, Apple. Battery life. Battery life was surprising. 6 to 7 hours on screen time. I mean, that's crazy to me. That's really, really good. I mean, that lasted me a whole day, and then sometimes I'd put it on my desk and forget to charge it, and it would still have some juice in the morning. And then, of course, fast charging. You just plug it right in, get you ready, jet out, and do what you were gonna do. Okay, now comes the time where I have to tell you the things that I would change or I just overall didn't like. The screen. Now, the screen, only because it is just like the Pixel 3, and it suffers from these green purple splotches or patches all over. Whenever you have pull up like Google or something with just you have a white background, and then kind of tilt it to the side, and then you'll start to see them. But if you go ahead and use dark mode will erase all of that. You'll never ever see it, because you're in dark mode. You won't have all these lights out there. So it'll get rid of the problem. You never even have to worry about it. No water resistant rating, there's no wireless charging, and just one color. I mean, okay. So I know I'm nitpicking because a phone at this price point with the other features in that camera, I mean, if they would have added these other features, it would have made the price go up, and then it would have threw it out of the budget phone ring, and we wouldn't be having this review right now. But still, I would have liked the wireless charging. You know, it's just easier sometimes. You know, like I said, at night when I just put it on my table instead of plugging it in, it was easier because if I just put it on the charger, then I wouldn't have to worry about it. It would have charged itself overnight. And I mean, I'm not one of those guys that's out in the rain with my phone or wants to swim with it or anything. But definitely, if it does start to rain, I get caught in the rain, you know, I do want to know that I'm protected. And that one color, now, I'm not saying it's super expensive to do colors, but, you know, just the black. I mean, you could throw in black, white, and just like maybe one other color. Just one other color. You know, you got they're famous for their orange or their oh-so orange and things like that. Just one other color. Question of the day. Do you prefer a budget phone or an all-out flagship device? Let me know your answers in the comments below. So, would I recommend the Google Pixel 4a? Yes. Yes. I mean, the camera alone is worth the price of admission. I think anyone who wants a device that's a budget device, that has a mature operating system, is super thin and light, and has a camera that can rival most flagship phones, and then you add in battery life, I mean, come on, this is hands down, just come on. Now, I'll have a link in the description below. It is an Amazon link, and it will let you experience the Google Pixel 4a and that camera. I mean, that is an experience that you definitely need to try just once. Okay, guys, that is my Google Pixel 4a full review. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you found value in this video, if you could drop a like on this video, click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any new content I release. Also, follow me on social media so you see all my content I'm flowing out there and some behind the scenes stuff. As always, this is Jason, and I'll catch you in the next one.